Okay, Kalani Sitake leaving BYU for UCLA. How about the Big 12 dominating the SEC in quarterback play? And by the way, your favorite hockey team is on the Power Rankings. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Every Monday, everybody, welcome to Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. That's Cam Stewart of Locked On Baylor, who every week gets paid money to make fun of my power rankings. That is where we will start today. I will give you all of the teams that I think are in the Big 12, 16 of them to be exact, where they rank amongst power. Then the Big 12 is dominating the SEC in quarterback play, and it's not even close. Sawyer Robertson, good, right? Still good? Maybe not. Josh Hoover, I don't know. Rocco Beck, Baron Morton, anyone? Then Kalani Sitake. ESPN lists him as the #1 name to take over at UCLA. To leave BYU and join the Bruins, if you hit subscribe, we get to keep our jobs. Let's do it. The power rankings. #1, Iowa State. And I'm unapologetic about this.
All right.
They are 4-0. They come off of, they have 2 Power 4 wins. Gutsy, gritty win against Kansas State in Ireland. And we already know that can mess with your psyche. Kansas State sucks now. They come back from Ireland, blow out the number.
So is it a worse win than it was? Look, I'm just here to ask the questions.
We always say with like ESPN, we're like, oh, they don't give you, they give you credit for beating the team when you beat them. In this scenario, I think if Kansas State wins that game, they're probably undefeated right now. That's an entire psyche bump. The entire loss.
Okay, what real quick, what if Kansas State still loses, but the quarterback's family doesn't fist fight each other in the parking lot?
Also an opportunity for them to be 3-1.
Potentially to have a winning record.
Huge opportunity for them at 3-1. Iowa State has 2 Power 4 wins. They have a win against Iowa, a win against Kansas State. They don't have the most impressive win in the Big 12. That probably goes to the Baylor Bears, actually, or maybe West Virginia at this point. They're #1 for me because they're 4-0. They had played, again, this is a crazy stat, 16 quarters of football. When they finished their 16th quarter, TCU had only played 4. That's a wild thing. They need a nap.
That is ridiculous. Yeah.
They need a nap. They're 4-0. They're #1. #2, Texas Tech. Throw the ball around the yard. Incredible. 3, Utah. 4, BYU. I'm going to go 5, TCU. And that was where my 5 had like kind of the gap built in there last week. Where it sits right now, I think Houston has now squarely, after their 36-20 win against Colorado, put themselves into a conversation of being a really good football team. Those are my top 5. Then Houston at 6.
Yeah, I argued with you last week, and ironically, because of what I'm about to say, I argued that Tech shouldn't be in the top 5, and it was like a "what have you done for me lately?" Right? That's what the power rankings are.
Turns out they might be good.
Tech could be #1. If we're going just by power rankings here, what have you done for me lately? Style, points. Obviously, I wouldn't put Iowa State any lower than 2. But Tech, I mean, let's not. Yes, go ahead. Let's go.
Texas Tech starters have outscored their opponents 160-0.
And look, has it been a murderer's row schedule so far? No, it hasn't. Oregon State, though, for all intents and purposes, is a Power 4 team. Not a good one, but they are a Power 4 team. And Tech destroyed them, just destroyed them. Against Malik Murphy, who everyone thought was going to be this great stud quarterback because he threw a couple of passes for UT. So, again, do I need to see them play someone more impressive? Yes, and that is coming next week. That is one of the games of the year coming up next week. But I could argue Tech for being #1. Just what have you done for me lately? This offense looks like it is clicking on all cylinders. I think our pal Timmy B said it's the best defense he's seen from Tech in a decade plus. They're not usually known for it. Baron Morton is trying to solidify himself as being in that pack with Josh Hoover and Sawyer Robertson. And I don't think he's quite as good as those two, but he's pretty close, man. He's pretty close. He was close statistically last year, and he's certainly showing some good efficiency.
Yeah, Texas Tech right now is #3 in the country in defensive efficiency. #3 in the country. Guess who's #1? BYU, 98.2% efficient. That's pretty good.
3 Big 12s in the top 10 right there. What's that, 4 in the top 15?
Little Arizona action, little Utah action as well. Houston below Utah. Right there. The Big 12 looks good. Continuing through the power rankings here, Houston at 6, Baylor at 7, They have lost a game, but maybe Auburn is good. Question mark. 8 Arizona is kind of the shock of the Big 12 to me so far. Did not see that one coming necessarily.
Didn't think they'd be the highest ranked team in the state. Didn't think that.
Oh no, Arizona State at 9. They beat GJ Kinney. GJ Kinney is good. If there's one thing that we know about GJ Kinney, football.
Bro.
And I will give him credit. He did beat Baylor in his first game as a head coach at Texas State at the FBS level.
GJ Kinney's beaten me twice now. Okay, beat Baylor in Waco. And I had plus 18.5. That was brutal at a 19-point loss. That's just a really tough way to end the night.
I did too. Kansas at 10. Jalen Daniels looks a lot better, but they had that loss to Missouri, and I can't. You can't give them a ton of credit for losing, but they look good in the loss, so they don't completely drop to the edge of the end of the earth here.
Frustrating loss. Yeah.
11 West Virginia. I wish I could move them up more. I don't think I can because they did lose to Ohio, a MAC team. But man, that was fun to watch. That was a very fun watch.
That was maybe the most surprising one of the weekend for me. Like, I really didn't think they had a chance against Pitt, who I didn't know much about. But you talk about the sputtering team whose best player goes out for the season. Talk about a dead cat bounce, man. They absolutely had it. What an environment, too. What a moment for West Virginia football. They look like, if nothing else, Drake, they're okay. Like they're not gonna be 2-10. They're not gonna be 3-9. That might have been win number 2 or 3. Like they're not gonna be bottom of the barrel bad. Yep. They might not make a bowl game, but they'll hang around, and that's a positive for Rich Rod first year back.
The kids are going to be okay. I really do believe that. West Virginia looked great against Pitt defensively when it mattered the most, especially Cincinnati at 12. I don't know what to do. They could be good, by the way. They could still be good.
Who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Like, they could still go 9-3. We just don't know yet. I don't think they will.
9-3.
But they could. I don't think they will. They could. 13 Colorado. RIP. I don't even know what to do with them. Yeah. And Dion said practice was great. So there's
how bad the bottom of the conference is. Because
14 UCF. They have not lost a game yet, by the way.
That's correct.
People are talking.
That's correct.
15. Yeah. The bye week came at the perfect time for UCF. And the bye week came at the perfect time for Oklahoma State, who didn't lose.
Did not lose. Kept the Big 12 unblemished record this week, huh?
Yep. 16th is Kansas State. And you might be going like, well, Oklahoma State had worse loss than they lost to Oregon. Power rankings. Part of this is your morale. And Kansas State's morale is low. You remember when was it Jack Black or maybe it was Jack Black and The Rock who were in Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Yeah, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Yeah,
right. Like complete flop 2011 movie. Yeah, that's how low the morale is for Kansas State. 1 Iowa State, 2 Texas Tech, 3 Utah. BYU is at 4. 5 TCU, 6 Houston, 7 Baylor, 8 Arizona. The back half. 9 Arizona State, at 10 is Kansas, West Virginia at 11, Cincinnati falls at 12, Colorado and Deion Sanders at 13, 14th UCF, 15th Oklahoma State, at 16 Kansas State. Coming up, the Big 12's killing the SEC. Murdering the SEC in quarterback play. Locked on Big 12, Locked on Baylor. Today's show is brought to you by the Game Cap. Mine is in the mail right now. My Game Cap is the West Virginia Mountaineers. The Game Cap is giving you the opportunity to wear your favorite hat from the 80s and the 90s. You were there. I was there. Remember? That's exactly right. Your vintage hats, we have them now, and they're unblemished. And I said hat. It'd be The Game. Use code Locked On. Get your vintage hat for $16.99. That's right. The exact same price they used to be. TheGameCaps.com. TheGameCaps.com. Grab your team's classic bar or retro circle design. Use code Locked On College for an exclusive discount because legends wear the game. Go to TheGameCaps.com right now and grab your hat today. Today's show is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. I've had the COVID the last couple days, and I've had some tasty caffeine shots in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce pack gives you the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee plus vitamin B and nutrients, zero sugar, zero crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. I can take them in the airport. Big taste, tiny shot. Always reach my favorite flavor. They are the infusions, lime infusions. Enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in-store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. That is 5-Hour Energy. Visit them and do it. Do it, lady, today. Might I say, the Big 12 is the most elite quarterback group in the country.
Count it.
And before this season started, ESPN would not have dared talk about my friend Baron Morton, who now is just launching for 450 yards in first halves alone this season.
No big deal.
ESPN didn't know the name Josh Hoover. Ever heard of a cat named Brennan Sorsby? Anybody here heard of Brennan Sorsby?
Brendan?
Yeah. Sawyer Robertson is now 4th in the Big 12 in QBR. We have not mentioned Sam Leavitt yet, who is not in the top half of the Big 12 conference in QBR, because that's how good this league is. I still think Sam Leavitt is good. Anybody checked in on Arch Manning lately? The number 1 quarterback in the SEC per ESPN and everybody else in their power rankings. Shout out to CBS Sports for their preseason best quarterback in the SEC, Arch Manning, who threw for 43 yards against UTEP?
Well, hey, look, they can't all be great SEC quarterbacks being the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country. I mean, they can't all be great. If Arch Manning's going to stink, then certainly DJ Lagway had a great weekend.
Yeah. Or Jackson Arnold, maybe, against the Samford Bulldogs. Could he have, or against the South Alabama Jaguars? Yeah. There was another very good quarterback who did not have a great weekend against the Samford Bulldogs. We
not spotless, let's say that. Yeah,
save that one for a bit. We live in a world where Ryan Staub, who we all remember, and it's great to me that
solidified quarterback.
Ryan Staub's head coach didn't exactly know the name Ryan Staub until 14 days ago. Deion Sanders called him Martin Luther Staub. Awesome. I can't say that. Deion can. That's
checks out.
Get that out there. He is ahead of Sam Leavitt and Avery Johnson in QBR. Also ahead of, now it's 17th in the league, Bear Bachmeier, 17th in the Big 12. Nico Marchiol is down there at 15th, but we're talking about Bear Bachmeier, who's undefeated and a true freshman.
We're also talking about them being like guys we would pick to be down at the bottom to begin with. You know what I mean? Like every conference has to have them.
Sure. Yeah. But we're talking about Bear Bachmeier, who has not looked bad.
Yeah, you're right. Undefeated. Nico just had a big win.
Yeah.
Over the ACC.
Our worst quarterbacks, Sam Leavitt's probably still a first-round draft pick, and he's 13th in the Big 12. Avery Johnson is probably a 4th or 5th round draft pick now. He's been ruined by Matt Wells, but he's still a name that the New York Times is posting as their Heisman Trophy winner preseason. We're talking about now, based on the law of averages, the worst quarterbacks in the Big 12 from a QBR standpoint still being somewhat household college football names or playing for top 25 teams or undefeated teams. That just goes to show when the most famous quarterback in the country, Arch Manning, is hot ass, how good the Big 12 is right now compared to the big bad SEC.
Where would you slate Arch Manning amongst this group of quarterbacks?
He's not as good as Sawyer Robertson.
Nope.
He is not as electric as Devin Dampier.
Nope.
He's not as consistent as Rocco Becht.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't have the experience and the journeyman dog mentality of a Connor Wegman.
Not as good as Connor Wegman right now. Straight up. He's
or Noah Fafita. Here's where you get in that random spot of I forget Colorado has 4 or 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
If you're
could be better than Salter, could be.
10-13. He's not as good as Sam Leavitt. He's still not as good as Avery Johnson. Hell, Nico Marchiol has done more to win his team a game than my friend Arch Manning.
I guess that's true. Yeah, that's true.
A head coach in college football called Bear Bachmeier a GD centaur.
Something.
Whereas, not to completely cut you off, but whereas we're hearing on the one hand, Bear Bachmeier is a GD centaur. On the other hand, Arch Manning's own head coach is saying, good, I'm glad our fan base booed him. Maybe he'll actually play well now.
Which is somehow not I don't think it's like the worst thing he said about the quarterback. He also was like chastising a reporter for asking if Arch is hurt when clearly the entire country is wondering, like, why does this guy not throw the same way? Why is he doing that? Why is he, throwing and we see the replay of him wincing as he's throwing? And Steve Sarkisian would be like, how dare you? How dare you ask that? But yeah, I mean, like we wouldn't put Arch in the top half of this conference. I think that's fair to say. And even we talk about Lagway. Lagway was in the game mainly because Garrett Nussmeier, one of the top returning quarterbacks in the country, couldn't really move the ball, couldn't put the game away. And that's an LSU offense that I think's been underwhelming. And let's take it past the SEC, shall we? I mean, one of the other big time names for returning quarterbacks was Cade Klubnik. He wouldn't be in the top 4 or 5 in Big 12 quarterbacks right now with his performance so far this season. Like that's how good we're talking about. We weren't kidding in the offseason. We were not kidding in June and July. Like this was going to be the best quarterback conference in the country. And so far, so good, man. Like genuinely, you got a 20-10 out of DJ Lagway and Garrett Nussmeier. This is the best quarterback conference in America. Full stop.
There's only one league where it just means more, to the point that a quarterback in Baron Morton, who I've seen be really bad, by the way.
The best quarterback in the SEC is Blake Shapen. Random thought. Sorry.
Yeah, he won that game. Baron Morton this year is good. Completed just 23 passes. I'm going to say just because it was to the tune of 464 yards against Power 4 Oregon State. 4 touchdowns. That's good. That's good. Bad. In a week where we didn't see elite level play out of Sawyer Robertson, who may still be the best quarterback in the Big 12 conference. I believe that, and possibly it's my Baylor bias showing, but he could be. We did see elite play out of Baron Morton. And then please peep the stat line of Josh Hoover from TCU. 337 yards and 4 touchdowns on 21 completions. We've got guys just doing that in their sleep against good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And that is just something the SEC doesn't have the liberty of right now. And I'm okay with that. Coming up, does the Big 12 have the liberty of Kalani Sitake no longer trying to dominate the top of the league? Whoa! He's leaving? Locked on Big 12, locked on Baylor. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is where I've gone to win money. Prize Picks? It's the craziest thing. Dallas Cowboys are playing yesterday on my TV. And I hate that I'm a Cowboys fan. I hate the Cowboys. Because I'm a fan of the Cowboys, I do not like them. Because they frustrate me all of the time. But I still put bukus of money on them, is that a word, every weekend, including the over on receiving yards for Kevontae Turpin. Count it. The over on passing yards for Dak Prescott. Count it. And the over on receiving yards, and receptions for CeeDee Lamb. And that's what I do. I go to Prize Picks and I do it. I put more on all of them. And in less than 60 seconds, you can turn your money into even more money with Prize Picks. It's quick. It's easy. Honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football as well. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Then, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel's where I go in the middle of the game to say the Dallas Cowboys are going to win. Reluctantly, they're going to win. And they did in overtime against the Giants. Classic game, 40-37, as we all thought it would be. The NFL season being here, you can go live bet. I mean, I got the odds at like plus 450 for the Cowboys to win it on their final drive with 25 seconds to go. And they did. New customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app right now. Makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team, like me, or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet for a chance at $300 in bonus bets. Do it all right now and do it with FanDuel. Breaking news in college football. Kalani Sitake is leaving BYU to coach at UCLA. If you believe ESPN. Craig, number one, here's my first thought on this. it seems extremely reckless that ESPN would post that Kalani Sitake is the short list, the candidate, the guy. The literal picture of the article. The picture of the article that ESPN writes about the future coach of UCLA is Kalani Sitake, BYU's head coach. And they have now labeled him as the guy. Like, he is the picture to be the next head coach in LA, leaving BYU. Personally, for me, I think this is complete BS. Further disrespect to the Big 12, further disrespect to BYU, and honestly, it's kind of laughable.
UCLA is not a better job than BYU.
It's not.
And it would be kind of crazy disingenuous for us to even imply that it is. Like, UCLA is a mess right now. Deshaun Foster was their coach because not only was he a big time alum, but because he was cheap. And they don't have any money, man. They're at a $200 million deficit they've announced over the last, decade or so.
Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo.
Don't you dare, man. Don't you dare utter Gerard Mayo to me. Are you kidding me? Let me get back to this. All right. It's just not. So you're facing that deficit. Okay. You're not a contender in the Big Ten. Even in UCLA's best years of the last 20 years or so, they wouldn't be a contender in this Big Ten. And obviously the flush for cash, not only I should clarify, not only for hiring a coach, but your coaching staff and your players. That's a huge deficit. And nobody cares. There's no fan connection to that program. There's no alumni connection.
They play in the Rose Bowl.
There's no city connection. Drake, there's nothing, man. There's nothing. There's no connection to that program and the greater world of college football right now and to their own fan base.
Can I tell you?
BYU, you're going to have, if you play a night game, you're going to have the best atmosphere in the country, and you are always going to have the resources. If BYU has proven anything in the last couple years in the NIL era, it is this, that not many schools can compete with them when it comes to resources, especially in this new era. UCLA cannot compete with them when it comes to these resources. And we're talking about a Big Ten team in the biggest metro area in the United States, and they can't do it. They can't compete with what BYU has. On the field, in the bank account, and in the stands, they cannot compete with BYU. It would be silly. It would be stupid for Kalani Sitake to take this job. Like, so, I would understand where some people would come from saying, well, he's what, 10 years into BYU. And I don't know that we've seen the ceiling yet. I doubt that's the case, but you're like, maybe he thinks that the Big Ten's a more competitive conference, that he can win easier there for some reason. And he's just young enough that he can start a new place and be there for a generation. But that doesn't make sense to me. That just doesn't add up to me. BYU's a better job with a better future and a better present.
Can I say something crazy?
Yeah. I
like Kalani Sitake a lot. I like his dad a lot. I like I think he is BYU, right? And even if they go 8-4 this year, I have them in Arlington. If they go 8-4 this year, I still think Kalani Sitake is the guy. If I'm the Big 12, if I'm a Baylor fan, a TCU fan, a Texas Tech fan, I'm begging for Kalani to stay at BYU, because if he ever would, and this won't happen, if he ever did leave, like ESPN's insinuating, to go to UCLA, BYU will hire Andy Reid.
That would be difficult.
It's no shot to Kalani. It's just that's what BYU has proven under Brian Santiago as their track record. Going and getting Kevin Young, the number one assistant in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, if this, and I'll read here in a second why ESPN thinks this will happen. If by chance Kalani does go, BYU will hire a conglomerate of Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, the ghost of Tom Landry. Like, they will go get whoever they want at the top of college football.
Hey, there's one of their former quarterbacks is coaching at the Power Four. Don't know if you know this. He's got a quarterback with a bit of an issue right now. Sark, come on over. And we know if Andy Reid goes there is a legitimately good track record in the last few weeks of coaches in the NFL who've won multiple Super Bowls transitioning to college where they've never coached as a coach before. So that's a good thing. But I did wonder this the other day, actually, because I'm trying not to drink the Drake Toll serum too much. But everyone asked with the new Big 12 and when UT and OU left, like who would be the kind of standout program, who would consistently have a chance to make a college football playoff and be in the Big 12 championship mix every year. And I think the beauty of the Big 12 is that there isn't really that. But if you had to pick one based on this new world of college football with a fan support and alumni support,
recruiting,
clearly
NIL.
how they've worked in recruiting, BYU would probably be it. And I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish it could be Baylor. But it's not. It's BYU. I think Baylor could be better right now. But in terms of sustainability, like who could be in the top 4 of this conference every year for 5, 6, 7 years, I think BYU's that one.
So ESPN.
UCLA's not in their conference. No way.
The 4 letters. This is great. This is what they write about Kalani. He's fairly established at his alma mater. Like, what a wild first 6 words. Just fairly established.
First off, those are the 6 words that eliminate almost everybody from any other kind of coaching position.
And scene. And we're just
like that's it, man.
That's fairly established at his alma mater.
Right? His alma mater's not Samford, you know?
Yeah. And would need some assurances beyond the Big Ten membership, which I think is maybe why they believe this is something he would do. But Sitake's also in his 10th year at BYU and might want to restart his clock. Why would anyone ever? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Like, oh, yeah, he's been there for a little bit. Maybe he just wants to change the scenery. From the school landing him 5 stars, giving him millions of dollars in NIL money, they continue here. The 49-year-old, so like we've already young coach, alma mater, established, winning, money. Maybe he wants a fresh start. Spent most of his career at Utah. Also worked
cursive.
Also worked at Oregon State and knows the West Coast and California recruiting scene. Yeah, because he's bringing those kids to BYU.
He's beating UCLA's ass in that recruiting scene. Like that very scene. He's destroying them. Yeah.
74-43 as an FBS head coach and would bring an identity of physicality and toughness to Westwood. Oh, you just wrote me a paragraph on all of the reasons he would never go to UCLA, given his current scenario.
He's just... If he went there, he wouldn't be any closer to a national championship or an NFL head coaching job than where he's at BYU. Like it just
further away.
It doesn't make any sense, man. Yeah, I mean, he'd be further away. And you talk about the assurances that UCLA can give. And again, if we're talking about UCLA versus Oklahoma State or Indiana, I guess Indiana's not a great example. They're in the same conference. A Wake Forest and NC State, then that's a different story. But there's no assurances that UCLA can give that BYU cannot give.
Yeah. Not
one. I'm sorry. Except for, an honor code thing. That's it.
This is pretty fantastic. It is. I got a text from Spencer McLaughlin, which I hate when he texts me. He's the host of Locked On College Football. And he said, hey, did you see ESPN predicting Kalani Sitake to UCLA? It's like, no, but there's no way that's real. It is. It's a thing. Thank you, 4 letters, for doing what you do best.
And by the way, if you're right, if BYU's in the Big 12 championship game, Kalani Sitake's probably the national coach of the year.
No. They'll give it to
You
Norvell.
really don't think so?
And Norvell, probably. If he loses his quarterback, I know, they were way better than the quarterback. But if you lose your starting quarterback in July and you make it to your conference championship game, the Power 4 with the quarterback wearing number 47, to me, you're the national coach of the year. And maybe that's worth more. Yeah, I don't think the Big 12 will get that level of respect or a team that was a 10-win team.
They got best player of the year last year, but I see what you mean.
Yeah,
but they would love the Florida State story more. I know.
If Travis Hunter played for Baylor last season, he doesn't win the Heisman.
Probably.
Yeah. He had the Deion thing. The Deion thing is a very powerful thing.
For Boise State. Probably wouldn't have won the Heisman.
No chance. That's Cameron Stewart of Locked On Baylor at Real Cam Stewart. This has been, thanks Cam Marino. Locked On. Thanks for making our shows your first listen every single day. Let's cross over with Baylor and Dose Grande.